Have you ever woken up from a dream so real you could swear you just lived it? Maybe you were dancing barefoot at your high school prom, or having a deep, heartfelt chat with someone you lost years ago. Or, if you're like my Uncle Ramesh, you found yourself trying to fly a helicopter made entirely of mangoes. No, really, he still insists it was the smoothest ride of his life. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, our dreams don't just stick around, they get louder, brighter, and sometimes downright strange. You might be wondering, why on earth am I dreaming so much now, when I barely remember having dreams in my 20s? Well, it turns out there's a pretty fascinating reason for that. And today, we're going to unpack it together. You see, dreaming isn't just some quirky nighttime theater playing behind your eyelids. It's one of the brain's oldest survival tools, a kind of internal therapist mixed with a problem solver and a storyteller. And after the age of 60, something surprising starts to happen. Your brain, no longer racing to keep up with daily deadlines or raising noisy kids, finally has the space to dig up old memories, unresolved emotions, and the wild imagination you've probably been too busy to notice for decades. Now, you might be thinking, all right, but why do they feel so vivid, so detailed, so, well, weird? Great question. It all starts with how sleep patterns change after 60. Our bodies naturally produce less melatonin, that handy hormone that helps regulate sleep. As a result, you may find yourself waking up more often at night, slipping in and out of lighter sleep stages. And it's during those light sleep cycles, especially a phase called REM, or rapid eye movement, that our most vivid and emotional dreams happen. Because you're dipping in and out of this REM stage more frequently now, your chances of remembering dreams increase. And here's the real kicker. The less pressure you have to wake up to an alarm clock or race off to work, the more likely your brain feels safe enough to let those dreams stretch out a little longer, like an old cat basking in a sunbeam. And it's not just about the sleep cycles. There's a beautiful bit of neuroscience at play here too. As we age, certain parts of our brain responsible for logic and inhibition slow down a bit, while areas tied to creativity and emotional memory get a chance to take center stage. It's like your inner artist finally elbowing the accountant aside and saying, "All right, my turn now." That's why you might dream of old friends you haven't seen in years, or revisit places from your childhood with a clarity that makes you swear you can still smell your grandmother's cooking. What's more, your subconscious loves to tie up loose ends. After 60, we've all lived through a fair share of joy, heartbreak, laughter, and regrets. Dreams become a kind of overnight therapy session, giving you a chance to process feelings you didn't even know you'd tucked away. One viewer recently wrote to me, saying she dreamt of sitting at a train station with her late father, talking about things they never got to say. She said it felt so real. She woke up smiling through her tears. And you know what? That's healing in its purest form. Even the so-called weird dreams serve a purpose. Those strange, jumbled adventures where you're chasing a chicken through a supermarket or swimming in a sea of marshmallows, they're not just random nonsense. They're your brain's way of releasing stress and untangling complicated thoughts. Think of it like spring cleaning for your mind, sweeping out the clutter you didn't even realize was piling up. And let's be honest, isn't it a little thrilling to still have surprises waiting for you at night? Who says life after 60 has to be predictable? While our daytime routines might slow down, our imaginations pick up the slack after dark. It's proof that some parts of us never grow old, no matter how many birthdays we celebrate. So the next time you wake up from a dream that feels more real than your morning coffee, don't dismiss it. Pay attention, write it down if you like, or better yet, share it with a friend over tea. You might be surprised how many people your age are quietly having their own secret adventures at night. And trust me, those stories are worth telling. Now, while it's fun to laugh about those wild mango helicopter dreams, there's actually a deeper layer to all this. You see, these vivid dreams don't just happen because your brain is feeling nostalgic or bored. They're often connected to your emotional health, and understanding them can quietly transform the way you feel during the day. One reason you might find yourself dreaming more intensely is because, as we age, we naturally spend more time reflecting. It's just human nature. When life isn't moving at 100 miles an hour anymore, those old memories, unresolved moments, and what-ifs start bubbling up to the surface. And because our brains are wired to process emotional experiences through dreaming, those thoughts often hitch a ride into our sleep. Have you noticed how certain dreams carry a specific emotion with them? Maybe you wake up from a dream about an old friend and feel strangely peaceful, or maybe one about a missed opportunity leaves you a little restless. That's your subconscious at work, my friend, and it's not something to fear. In fact, it's one of your body's most beautiful coping mechanisms. It's also interesting to note that after 60, our relationship with grief and loss changes. We've likely said goodbye to parents, friends, or loved ones along the way. Dreams become a safe space to revisit those connections. Some researchers even suggest that dreaming of people we've lost helps our brain manage ongoing grief in gentle, manageable doses. It's like a nighttime reunion for your soul, one that leaves you lighter in the morning without even realizing it. But let's not forget the fun side of it too. Dreams aren't always about unpacking serious emotions. In fact, after 60, many people report experiencing what scientists call positive nostalgic dreaming. Ever had a dream where you were back on your old scooter, racing down the street like a teenager, or reliving a summer holiday from the 70s with every vivid color and sound intact? That's your brain reminding you that those moments still belong to you, no matter how long ago they happened. And let me tell you something, those aren't just feel-good moments. Positive dreams have been linked to better emotional resilience in older adults. Yep, you heard that right. A joyful dream can actually help improve your mood, lower stress, and even boost your sense of purpose the next day. It's like your brain sneaking you an emotional vitamin while you sleep. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, all right, but what about those downright weird or unsettling dreams? You're not alone. Plenty of folks over 60 experience vivid nightmares too. This happens partly because of the same sleep cycle changes we talked about earlier. More frequent awakenings during REM sleep mean you're more likely to wake up right in the middle of an intense or strange dream, which makes it feel even more memorable and sometimes unsettling. But here's the good news. The vast majority of these odd or uncomfortable dreams aren't a sign of anything dangerous. More often than not, they're your mind's creative, if slightly eccentric, way of processing everyday stress. That odd dream where you're trying to drive a bus full of grumpy cats through a snowstorm? Yep, probably just your brain having a little fun while blowing off steam from a hectic week. And believe it or not, you can gently steer the tone of your dreams. Simple habits like reading uplifting stories before bed, practicing gratitude, or even keeping a journal of happy memories can influence the emotional tone of your nighttime adventures. It's like sending your subconscious a little memo that says, hey buddy, let's keep it light tonight. So if you've been waking up wondering what your dreams mean, remember this. They're a reflection of your rich, complicated, beautiful life. Every strange, vivid, or tender dream you have after 60 is your mind's way of honoring the chapters you've lived, the emotions you carry, and the stories you're still writing. And that, my friend, is something to be deeply proud of. And you know what? The more I talk to folks in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, the more I realize something beautiful about this phase of life. It isn't about slowing down or quietly fading into the background. It's about rediscovering yourself, your joys, your stories, and yes, even your dreams, both the daytime kind and the ones that visit you at night. See, those vivid dreams aren't some random quirk of aging. They're signposts pointing you toward unfinished business, unspoken feelings, and sometimes unclaimed joys. It's your heart and mind teaming up to say, hey, you've still got places to go and memories to make. Now, a lot of people ask me if it's possible to make peace with unsettling or persistent dreams. Absolutely. One of the most powerful things you can do is simply talk about them. Call up an old friend, share that bizarre dream about being chased by a giant teacup, or write it down in a notebook by your bed. The act of naming a dream often takes the weight out of it. Another wonderful little habit you might try is turning your dreams into art. I know, you might be thinking, art? At my age? But hear me out. Some of the world's most moving poems, songs, and paintings were inspired by dreams. Even if it's just scribbling down a few lines of a memory or doodling the weird owl man from last night's dream, you're creating a bridge between your waking world and your dreaming one. And that connection, my friend, keeps you mentally sharp and emotionally grounded. And let's not ignore how lifestyle plays a role too. What you eat, how you wind down before bed, and the kind of thoughts you carry with you into sleep all shape your dreams. Simple changes, like sipping chamomile tea, avoiding heavy meals late at night, or limiting those endless news scrolls before bedtime, can soften your dreams and make them more peaceful. It's like setting the stage for a better movie when the lights go out. Now, before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Your dreams are proof that your mind hasn't given up on curiosity, adventure, or reflection. Every time you close your eyes and drift into a world where anything is possible, you're reminded that no matter your age, life is still full of surprises. And honestly, isn't that the kind of magic worth holding on to? So the next time you wake up laughing, crying, or wondering what on earth that flying circus goat was about, smile. It means you're alive, you're still feeling, and your story isn't finished yet. I'd love to hear about your most memorable or downright bizarre dreams in the comments below. Seriously, nothing's too strange for this community. And if you found a little comfort or insight in today's chat, give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We've got so many more conversations like this waiting for you. Here's to living your fullest, richest, most dream-filled life at any age. Sweet dreams, my friend.